In today's video, we're riding at Carnegie. We're going to cover a couple things that you should know about, and we're also taking this new seat concept seat for its first ride. Let's jump right in. What's up, guys? Welcome to Trail Tune Up. My name's Jason, and as stated in the intro for today's video, we're going to be covering a couple things you should know about Carnegie, as well as testing this new seat concept seat on the 350 XWF. First thing I want to point out, Tony, the legend, who ran Motomart here at Carnegie, he's no longer here. He retired. The shop is under new ownership. I haven't had a chance to check it out. I'm going to walk in there later today, take you guys through. I'm assuming it's going to be the same just as it was before. Good prices, good people, but we shall see. So, quick little story to provide y'all with some context. I was here about maybe 2.5, 3 months ago with one of my riding buddies, and we noticed that the area next to the MX track that you take to go up into the hills was closed, and there were a bunch of tractors and a bunch of construction equipment. And, you know, obviously we didn't slide through the gate to ride it, but I was kind of wondering what kind of maintenance they were doing. And it turns out it's something that you should be very aware of. Now, it's nothing crazy. I would say I'm not necessarily stoked about it. Maybe some people are, but they put a ton of new gravel in there, which makes it, I don't know, maybe easier for people to slow down coming down the hill, but it definitely makes it harder to go up the hill. All right, now we're entering the blue square of Clinton Canyon, and this is actually kind of where I was talking about, where they added a whole bunch of this new these new rocks, and it makes it super crazy to get up. Super slippery. I'm not a fan. This used to be a lot more hard-packed and easier to ride up. So just be aware that when you come here, especially if you're bringing a new rider, that they're going to have to deal with some very slippery uphill climbing. They also did the same thing here. It looks like it's been a little ridden out. Like I said earlier, this happened 2.5, 3 months ago. And I think, you know, a lot of the riders have started to sort of kick it up, which is good. This part didn't really get affected. It was just that last hill that we were on. But you will notice that right here, they did the same thing. And right here is not as bad. They definitely, you know, riders definitely have sort of kicked up the rest of the rocks here. So that's really where it ends. That's all I want you guys to be aware about. Just know that it's there for if you're taking anyone new up and they're not very confident on their dirt bike. That back tire is going to be slipping all over the place for them. So, you know, maybe give them a little warning, or maybe don't take them there at all. The choice is yours. We're gonna go opposite the way that we usually go on Red Tail. Alrighty, so as promised, we're gonna come check out the new shop, see how different it looks. Oh, no way. So what's pretty cool that they didn't have before is some of this nice green grass, but that's not what I said. Oh shit, that's cool. Looks like they added a new food truck here. That's pretty dope. They didn't have that before. So if you're in the market for some food when you're here, looks like they got a pretty nice little menu. The pictures look good. I just ate a bunch of fruit, so I don't know if I'm gonna get anything, but it does look much better than the food that used to be offered here. So that's a pretty nice little upgrade, along with this little area with the artificial turf. That's pretty dope. Oh, how's it going, man? Pretty good, chilling. It's way bigger in here now. That's pretty cool. I don't recall this section even being open. I think this is where they had a lot of the food last time, little hot dogs and whatnot, but now they've got lots. Pretty sweet lighting, I like that. That's cool. I'd say the selection is similar. I'd say the selection is actually larger now. Obviously with more room you have more selection, but looks like instead of where all the stuff used to be, a lot of the parts used to be back on this wall, and now it's kind of spread all throughout. That's pretty dope. I'm liking it. It's looking good. Damn, and they got, I don't know if they had this before, but the bunch of two-stroke pipes, it looks like. I'm sure there's some four-stroke ones here too. No, actually these all look like two-stroke pipes. It's pretty dope. Bunch of air filters, that's cool. Some packing for your exhaust. I like it.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. I'll see you around. Oh, look at this, and the little fire pit. They up their game here. I will say, you know, Tony was an absolute legend. He is the man, and he was always willing to help out. So many times I came and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with my bike, and then he'd fix it and I go, what do I owe you? He'd be like, nothing. Or he'd be like, use a couple parts and it'll be $8 or something like that. So I don't know if they're the same. The guys that worked in there, or the guy that worked in there that I talked to just now, he used to work there at the old shop for Tony, so you know, they're super knowledgeable in there, and that guy's super knowledgeable too. So it's pretty awesome. I'm sure they still do plenty of work on bikes, but that's quite a nice little upgrade with the food truck on the side, and the whole shop's bigger, and they just have more room for chilling now. That is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it to be that much better. And like I said, no disrespect for Tony, that dude is the man, but whoever decided to take over that location is doing it right, which is always so great. I love how Hollister and Carnegie have shops on location for, you know, if you break something, you break a lever, you know, you can just easily get it fixed. You can do it yourself, obviously. And they will probably help you out if you need some tools or something like that. They have a little tool bench over on the side there. At least they used to. I don't know if that's been repurposed for seating or not, but pretty awesome. But enough about that. Let's get back to some riding. I'm gonna take a look over on the side there and see if they still have tools available. Looks like they've turned it into more seating, so no more tools, but hey, they've got some air for you now, and looks like that's where they work on the bikes now, so that's probably where you could borrow a tool if you needed to. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is this new seat, concept seat that I've got on the 350 XWF. It is worlds better than the stock seat. The thing that I love about it the most, well, it's definitely softer and more comfortable. And part of that is due to the fact that further back on the seat, it gets wider. So you're not just getting hit with less surface area on your ass when you're riding. When you do decide to get up front, let's say you're hitting something a bit gnarlier, it's just as narrow as the stock seat, which makes it great because you need to have, you know, some extra space when you're hitting stuff. Maybe not necessarily like this, but I'm sitting up a little further on the bike right now than I normally would when I'm just riding. So we're gonna check back towards the end of the video, you know, once we've logged a couple hours, and we'll see if my sentiment stays the same. So this is what I was talking about earlier, how the seat is probably still even a little wider than the KTM seat here, but you really don't feel it. Here, when you're sitting back, is where it makes all the difference. And this is what really lends itself to the comfort of this seat. Obviously, you know, softer foam than the stock seat, but you know, having this wideness back here really makes all the difference. It's funny because earlier I said, oh, I ate some fruit, I don't need to get any tacos, but I think I'm gonna get some tacos. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Like I said, I already ate some food, so I'm really just doing this for you guys. Has nothing to do with me right now. The tortilla quality is pretty nice. First bite, see what we think. Oh yeah, these are solid. This is way better than the food that they used to have there. So that's a big upgrade. $3.33 per taco, 3 for $10. Solid deal. Well, I'm on my last taco, so I'd say that this is it for the episode. Thank you so much for watching Trail Tune-Up. If you found this informative or entertaining in any way, please feel free to drop a like on the video, a comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. My name's Jason. We'll see you out on the trail.